Before morning wash, the linen chest rests in the low room where stone still holds the night. The lid is closed, but not fastened. A narrow line of shadow remains under its front edge, and the wood has darkened where hands have lifted it through many seasons. A small lamp burns near the wall. Its light does not reach every corner. It stays low, close to the chest, the cold basin, the peg rail, and the folded cloth waiting on the bench. This is not a room for display. It belongs to washing, folding, drying, and returning things to their places before the house has fully woken. The work is ordinary, and because it is ordinary, it can be quiet. The linen inside the chest has been folded for use, not for admiration. Edges meet edges. Corners rest inside corners. Some cloth is pale, some yellowed by age, some rougher along the hem where repeated washing has thinned it. A cold basin stands on a low support nearby. It is not porcelain, not polished, not modern. It is stone or dark metal, practical and heavy, with a rim worn dull where water has passed over it again and again. The floor beneath the basin has a faint damp mark. It does not spread far. It curves around one side, then fades into the stone. The mark keeps the memory of yesterday's work without making the room feel unsettled. A damp cloth hangs from a simple rail of pegs. It has been wrung tightly, but a darker line remains along its lower fold. The cloth is not dripping. It is only holding the last coolness of water inside its weave. The peg rail is plain wood, fixed to the wall with rough care. Some pegs are empty. One holds a narrow strip of linen. Another holds a cord, looped twice so it will not fall during the night. No worker needs to stand in the room for the trace of work to remain. The chest shows storage. The basin shows washing. The rail shows drying. The bench shows folding. The stone floor shows where water was carried and stopped. The air is cooler near the basin than near the lamp. It carries water, old linen, wood, and stone. Nothing is scented strongly. The room does not feel perfumed or clean in a modern way. It feels kept. The chest hinges are dark at their pins. They would answer if the lid were lifted, but now they rest without sound. The room has already learned which noises travel in the early morning, and which ones can be avoided. Near the chest, a folded stack waits on the bench. The top cloth has one uneven edge. It has been used too many times to lie perfectly flat, yet it has still been folded with care. A smaller cloth lies separately near the basin, ready for the first wet work. It is not white anymore. Its color has moved toward cream and gray, where water, ash, soapwort, hands, and stone have all touched it over time. The basin has no shine, except where the lamp finds a thin edge of water. That small reflection trembles when the air moves, then settles again. Nothing in the room asks the water to look brighter than it is. The wooden chest sits low enough that a tired person could reach it without stretching. Its front board has a shallow scrape near the corner. The scrape does not spoil the chest. It gives the hand one more way to know it in the dark. The cord on the peg rail is simple and dry. It may be used later for hanging a cloth, tying a bundle, or keeping the folded piece together until morning. For now, it waits in a loose loop, neither hidden nor offered forward. A stone threshold separates the room from the colder passage. The passage beyond is darker, and the light from the lamp thins before it reaches the outer wall. The washroom keeps its warmth small and close. The room does not ask for haste. Morning wash will come soon enough. Water will be lifted. Cloth will be opened. Linen will be taken from the chest and returned when the work is done. At this hour, the order matters more than the movement. The folds in the linen hold a soft geography of use. A hem thickened by mending. A corner thinned by rubbing. A crease that returns because the same hands fold the cloth the same way. These marks do not announce themselves. They simply stay. On the bench, A narrow wooden paddle rests beside the folded stack. It may be used to lift cloth from water or to press it against the basin edge. Its handle is smooth, and its flat end has darkened from damp work. The paddle is not a tool of force. It belongs to small pressure, slow turning, and the careful handling of cloth that must last. It keeps the work from becoming harder on the hands than it needs to be. The lamp has been set where flame cannot touch cloth. That distance is part of the room's knowledge. Linen, wood, water, and fire share the space only because each has been given a careful place. A few folded pieces inside the chest are older than the rest. Their weave is looser. Their edges have been mended with thread that does not quite match. They are kept because they still serve, and service is enough. The room is spare, but not empty. The chest takes one side. The basin takes another. The peg rail holds the wall. The bench stands between storage and washing, a small bridge made of worn wood. By the middle of the night, everything here has settled into its own weight. The damp cloth has cooled. The basin has lost the last warmth from yesterday's water. The chest wood has taken the lamp's glow on one edge and left the rest in shadow. A little dust has gathered behind the chest where a broom does not easily reach. It is not neglect. It is the kind of dust that belongs to corners behind heavy useful things, waiting for a clearer hour. The stone floor is uneven near the basin. Water has found the lower places before, and the marks show it. A careful hand would know where to set a foot so the morning work begins without slipping or noise. The peg rail casts thin shadows down the wall. They are not dramatic. They only repeat the shape of empty pegs, hanging cord, and damp cloth. The wall receives them without changing the room's calm. This room has no luxury in it. No bright tile, no polished sink, no scented steam, no mirror. Its comfort is older and plainer. A clean fold, a basin that holds, a rail that dries, a chest that keeps cloth away from floor damp. The linen chest also protects mourning from confusion. When the lid opens later, the hands will not search through disorder. The right cloth will be near the top. The older pieces will remain lower. The smallest cloths will be gathered to one side. The basin waits with the patience of heavy things. It cannot hurry. It cannot soften the water. It only holds what is poured into it and gives the cloth a place to be turned, pressed, rinsed, and lifted. Near the threshold, a darker patch on the stone shows where wet feet or wet cloth once paused. The patch is dried, but the color remains. It does not tell a story of trouble. It tells a story of repetition. The work in this room is close to the body. Elbows, wrists, fingers, knees, and tired shoulders would know the distance between chest and basin. The room is measured by reach, not by grandeur. The first gray before morning has not yet entered fully. If there is a small window, it is still mostly dark. The lamp remains the truer guide, low and warm, keeping the chest and basin within the same small world. A spare strip of linen lies across the bench end. It may become a tie, a wipe, or a simple patch. It has no single purpose yet, and that is why it stays useful. Small rooms keep such things because morning always asks for something slightly different. The damp cloth on the peg rail slowly gives its coolness back to the air. It does not move. The lower edge has begun to lighten where it dries first. Above it, the peg holds steady in the wall. The chest lid has a slight bow in the middle. The wood has swollen and dried too many times to stay perfectly straight. Its imperfection is not failure. It is the sign of a useful thing kept near water and still trusted. The later dark gathers softly around the basin. The water edge is nearly gone from sight. The bench loses its corners. Folded linen keeps one pale line longer than the wood beneath it. Nothing more needs to be discovered here. The chest is known. The basin is known. The rail is known. The folded cloth waits where it was left. The room has lowered its attention to the things that will matter first. The last quiet rests in the folds. Wood, linen, water, cord, and stone lose their sharper edges. The lamp is small but not yet gone. The colder passage remains beyond the threshold, held back by the room's low order. A small wooden stool waits near the bench, pushed in close so it does not catch the hem of a passing garment. Its seat has gone smooth along the front where knees have touched it, while cloth was folded. It is not central to the room, but it belongs to the same careful order. The wall behind the rail is darker where damp cloth has hung many times. Lime wash is lifted in tiny places, and the wood around the pegs has taken a softened polish from use. The marks are small, but they keep the room honest. Even the closed chest has a quiet smell. Dry linen, old wood, and the faint mineral coolness that comes from stone rooms before sunrise. It is not a clean scent made for display. It is the smell of kept work. A short rail near the basin holds no more than it can bear. The wood is not straight, and one peg tilts slightly upward, but the rail has stayed in service because it keeps damp cloth away from the floor. A room like this does not need perfect fittings. It needs fittings that can be trusted before sunrise. The basin's lower support has dark marks where water has run down and dried. They form narrow trails, almost black in the lamp's edge. No one has scrubbed them into disappearance. The marks are useful in their own way, because they show where water tends to travel and where the cloth should be kept clear. Inside the chest, the folded linen is not all the same size. Larger pieces lie flatter, pressed by their own weight. Smaller cloths sit together near one side so they do not vanish between heavier folds. That small separation matters when hands are cold, and the room is still dim. A strip of cord has been tied around one old bundle of cloth. The knot is plain and easy to loosen. It keeps a few worn pieces together, perhaps those meant for rougher work, perhaps those kept for spills or corners. Nothing about the bundle asks to be opened now. The room carries the memory of water without letting water rule it. Dampness stays near the basin, near the cloth, and near the threshold where wet feet once paused. The chest stands just far enough away that the folded linen can remain dry through the night. A small wooden bowl sits upside down near the basin. Its rim has left a pale ring on the bench, where dust could not settle. It may be used later for a little water, a small rinse, or a handful of soapwort. For now, its upside-down shape keeps the inside clean. The lamp makes the linen look warmer than it is. If a hand lifted the top cloth, the fold beneath would still be cool. The stone has kept the room cold, and the cloth has accepted that cold without losing its usefulness. At the peg rail, the hanging cloth changes color from top to bottom. The upper part is nearly dry. The lower part holds a deeper shade. Between them lies a soft band where water is still leaving slowly. The difference is small enough to miss, but it belongs to the hour. The bench has been placed so a person can turn between chest and basin without stepping back into the passage. That placement saves effort. It also saves noise. The body can work in a narrow circle, lifting, folding, rinsing, and setting down without waking the colder corridor. A mended corner near the top of the linen stack catches the lamp. The repair thread is not the same color as the cloth, but it is held. In a room where water wears everything down little by little, a repair that holds is its own quiet comfort. The threshold stone has a dry upper edge and a darker lower seam. Cold gathers there first. The washroom does not fight it with brightness. It keeps the lamp low, the chest closed, and the useful things close enough to find. The room's order is humble, but it is not accidental. Wet things have their side. Dry things have theirs. Tools are kept where they do not cut across the path of the feet. Cloth is folded so it can be lifted without shaking dust into the basin. Later, when morning has more light, the lid may rise, and the first cloth may be taken out. The basin may receive fresh water. The damp cloth on the rail may be moved closer to air. None of that needs to happen yet. The room can wait because it has already been prepared. A quiet place is often made by removing small frictions. No stuck lid. No hidden cloth. No rail overloaded with damp weight. No basin set where it blocks the path. The washroom's peace comes from these small absences as much as from the objects themselves. The folds in the linen begin to lose their sharpness as the night passes. They do not collapse. They only soften. The top cloth settles onto the one beneath it, and the chest keeps them together, dry and ready for hands that will arrive before the day is fully awake. For this one pre-dawn hour, the linen chest has done enough by staying closed and ready. It has kept folded cloth away from damp stone, held morning work in order, and left the washroom quiet enough for the first water to be lifted gently.